What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the VNB Show. We are here with episode 3, and we have a surprise guest, and he's filling in for the B part of the show. Ace, how are we doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good. You could call it the Van and Blazer Show.
Yeah, there you go, Van and Blazer. Van, how we doing? You're still here. You're still the V, so how everything's going?
Somebody's got to run this fucking place.
Yeah, Brian. We don't know what happened to Brian. He wins the Super Bowl, and he's probably just off celebrating a little too hard and must be sleeping off a hangover or something. So
he's running with a new crowd now, apparently.
You know, I was looking forward to congratulating him live on the show. You know, like that was one of the better XCFL Super Bowls we've ever had.
Well, you could still congratulate him. Yeah. He just won't be here in person to hear it.
He'll just hear it when everyone else hears it.
Yeah, he has the stream on a loop in his house on the big screen.
He did say he watched it a few times. It was a really good game, man, between two tough users. And at one point, I think we all kind of were like, "Wow, this one's over." You know, he wings to seal the deal, and then big old sack from the D tackle, and there we go. So,
what was this?
Go ahead.
What was this stuff about you talking Brian down out of the bell tower?
We all were giving Brian a little bit of support, making sure he was staying focused. And you know how Brian rides those emotional swings, you know, gets down on himself pretty quickly. And, you know, so we were there to bring him back down to earth so he could finish the football game. So,
yeah. And he repays the favor by not showing up.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, we got 2 seasons down already. This last one only took 24 days to fly through, which is like our COVID lockdown pace. Thoughts on that before we get going, Van?
Oh yeah, I didn't even know it was 24 days. It just seemed normal.
Yeah,
like it is the new normal.
It is. That's 24 days is nuts. Because I mean, back when I first joined here, I mean, seasons would take like 60, 65 days. I mean, it was, you know, we're cranking out seasons. So, but it's what we're all here for, man. It's what makes it fun.
Right. Well, now I have to start adjusting. I was thinking, well, maybe some of my old guys are going to last a little longer. Bro.
Got to switch it up. I'm hoping we got to get at least 10 cycles in, or 10 seasons in.
Well, you know, there's 30.
I
there's
planned for 10, so.
Yeah, I plan for 10 as well. So I'm hoping we get to 10. I'd be pumped with more, but we'll see.
Let's have a little congratulations for Ace making the playoffs too.
Yeah, Ace made the playoffs for the first time. Shout out to Willinger. Second time. That's right. You made it at the end of last cycle. Willinger made it for the first time.
I love seeing it.
Shout out to me and Van for getting blown out in the playoffs.
for sucking up a playoff spot.
Blown out. That was awesome. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
You guys they're regularly don't, you expect to get a win or two in the playoffs, and you don't know how exciting it is just to make it for someone like me and Willinger. You know, it's like it's so fulfilling to work so hard, and hey, I made it, you know. So whatever the result was, I was going to be happy with it.
You almost turned it into a little second round berth there too. For a while there, I thought you were going to pull it off.
I don't know why it is, but I've had some good success against Prince, you know, and if I could have converted a few of those third downs, I think I could have pulled it off. But his defense was balling on third down, so he did a great job.
Yeah, you do have a good play style for some of these, you know. I mean, your play style would do very well up against a guy like me too. I think you and Prince have similar play styles, actually. But let's go ahead and get into our 6-pack of questions. How about it? You guys know the format by now. Episode 3, we'll run through our six burning hot topics of the week here. And the first one I want to start out with, we took a week off because Brian skipped last episode as well. We took a week off, and the VNB power rankings shook the XCFL to a for, you know, putting it lightly. People were not happy. People thought it was funny, you know, whatever it was. Yeah, I mean it's insane. So, what I want to talk about now, I know Ace, you weren't part of the murder that was the power rankings, so you can just talk about this as well. But I want to go movers and shakers in the power rankings. So who moved up, who moved down, who from where we had them. Is there anything you would change based off how the rest of the season obviously Brian won the Super Bowl, so we can eliminate him. He moved up. But is there any teams, Van, we'll start with you, any teams that you would like to move up or move down based off their wins and losses since the – go ahead.
I think Brackett should move down. That's definitely something. I think we had him way too high. I think obviously a couple of guys, Willinger, I can't remember where he was at, but I'm sure he jumped up a couple of spots. And the guy that's on our show right now, Ace, I think he was what were you, Ace? Mid-20s?
I was at 20.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I might move you up a couple of spots there, 17-ish. Couple that I'd move me down. So let's just get that out of the way right now. Let's talk about the elephant in the goddamn room. Let's just move right out of the.
I would like to move myself down as well.
Yeah.
Me going at 2 is just not. Yeah.
You know, you guys were trying to be modest and saying, oh, we won't pick ourselves, this or that, and it just that format didn't work. I mean, if you had it to do all over again, I'm sure you would say.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested to see where Jared fits into this next year because he's a hard one to read, that guy. So I mean, I was trying to put him, where and compare him with Diesel and everything like that. He's tough to gauge. I know you think.
I do know
Jared's good. He just can be bad too.
Yeah,
he's kind of like NWS, where he's hot and cold, and he could play with the best and play with the worst all a couple days apart.
Well, he got rid of that crustacean that is Cousins. I see.
Yeah, he was able to shed that cap. I think Jared will fit in nicely. He's been all over the place. He's won 3 games in a season, but he's also made a run for the playoffs. So it'll be interesting in your guys' division over there. I think he's going to give you some good battles once he gets his team kind of where he wants it. But
yeah, I think he will.
Ace, what about you from an outside perspective then? Is there anybody you'd move up or down from the power rankings?
Yeah, I thought Riot was ranked pretty low. And after watching him come through that season, he finished at 8-8. He was 4-2 in his division, which he should be.
Yep.
So, I thought that he could be moved up a little bit. I was trying to find the graphic there so I could look at oh, here it is. So he was at 29. He was ranked 29 and ended up finishing 8-8. So I think he beat me. So I figure he's in that 18 to 20 range, right where I'm at. Me, Willinger, Riot, we're about the same. Yeah, power ranking, I'd say.
Riot, that was one I was shocked when Van put him there because he already had 3 wins at that point, and all the other guys were sitting there with 1 or 0, and I would have had him a little bit higher off the bat, but I think Drew for me was completely disrespected at 13. Even with an easy strength of schedule, but then you look at the people he beat, even when Brian put him at 13, he already beat Wings at that point. He beat B-Rap. He played me really close. So, I mean, he put together a really good season and then capped it by making a run at the conference, the AFC Conference Championship. So I'd probably have Drew up higher and probably drop Tosh down. Because
Tosh is just not engaged. He's got a lot going on. Once his football season finishes, maybe he'll kick it in gear. But yeah, he's not in the top 8 for me right now.
Yeah, just with that Kansas City Chiefs roster, I mean, not engaged though. You should, no defense, but offensively, this is an offensive Madden, it seems, with some of the stats that are being put up and without a pass rush.
People keep saying that, but that Kansas City team doesn't fit his style. I mean, he's a defensive player, and the defense over there is not good. So he doesn't have the players, and I think just the way that this particular cycle is playing, I'll use you as an example. You just went out and got Stephon Gilmore, and in other cycles that would have never ever crossed your mind, but you did it for a reason, and that's because that lockdown corner is critical right now, and KC don't have one.
That's the problem. Yeah, my division mates have receivers that you have to have these people against, but Yeah, I mean, it was fun. The rankings were fun, but like Ace said, man, next time we will be able to pick ourselves, and we will put ourselves very early, almost the exact opposite of what happened this time.
Where would you guys put Dave?
Dave in this division, it's going to be tough for Dave. But Dave and Jared are probably pretty similar skill levels. Oh my God. Sorry. My wife and the baby again. He asked if the baby was asleep. And
Where would you rank the baby in comparison to bracket they play?
+1.
The baby,
he's right in front of bracket.
Yeah, the baby might be able to take bracket.
It's a pick 'em.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But yeah, with Dave, I didn't hear what you guys said, but I think Dave and Jared are pretty similar. I think Dave can beat majority of the users he plays, but I also think he can be a little inconsistent and struggle. So probably in that he's probably in that 15 to 20 range, I think. But I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on here. We spent enough time on these power rankings. They've been talked about enough. But let's go ahead and move on. We have the draft coming up tomorrow night. So number 2 of our 6-pack of questions. What is your favorite position to draft for XCFL gameplay? Or, I mean, anybody. What is that? When you click that player, you get very excited to see those ratings pop up. Ace, let's start with you this time around.
I'm a best player available guy every draft. I don't have a favorite position. I love to run the ball, obviously, but when it comes to drafting, I'm going to take the best guy available that's on the board almost exclusively. So it's a tough question for me to answer.
Yeah.
But I'm the total opposite of Van here because I know what Van's going to say, and if he says anything different, I'm going to call him out right now. But I don't have.
Oh no!
When let's just say we got to see the combine tonight, and the first thing that he did was scroll right over to this particular position, and I don't do that. I go like, let me see all the talent that's there, and I'll pick from that. So Van, why don't you go ahead and speak, and I'll tell everyone if you're being honest or not.
Dude, honestly, I'm going to give you a 1A and 1B here, okay? Obviously, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a fast receiver. I don't ever seem to hit on them, so I'm a little gun shy. But I have to say my favorite position to draft is middle linebacker.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot pass up a quick middle linebacker. That's what I played in high school. I love it. So I'm just super happy with this class, needless to say.
Yeah, this Madden in general is right up your alley with how they built these linebackers coming out in these draft classes. This Ross Bonds that we got coming out of Oklahoma, 4.45. Man, that's.
I mean, you got to do a lot of sucking to get that guy, though.
Yeah, 4.4. Yeah, that's or a really good negotiating.
Yeah.
4.45. That's like I'd be happy if my corner ran 4.45, and you're gonna get this dude a middle linebacker.
B plus hit power.
Yeah. So for me, then, Ace is kind of best player available. Van says middle. What was 1B, wide receiver?
Yeah.
So for me, it's obviously wide receiver. There's no doubt in any round. Clicking on that wide receiver that has the 4.34, 4.3 set, whatever it is, and just hoping. Usually getting your hopes up because you think it's gonna be like 97, that it ends up 92 or something, but. For me, it's all about the wide receiver. And I just think because it can be in any single round and you can draft a game-changing player. And that's why it's so big for me. And I guess that's similar with corner because all I'm looking for in my corners is speed as well.
Dude, you're doing so well with positional corners right now, though. And I cannot believe that you didn't take that wide receiver first. That had balls of steel. To let that guy hang out there for more, and when the whole league knows you're looking at the guy.
Yeah, that was nice. I was happy about that, but
I bet
it worked out well.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah, hopefully he keeps it up because I just like Keenan Allen fly off to free agency. So
I know a guy who really wants Keenan Allen.
I think he's on the show because I saw he has a
no.
Hey, I don't know if there's a wide receiver that fits my style better than Keenan Allen.
Dude.
So when I saw him there, I was like, okay, I need a wide receiver.
Yep.
Fine.
Well, this topic goes right into our third question here. All about free agency. We're right in the middle of free agency. We kicked it off tonight at 8. Van, we'll start with you. Is free agents to watch. Who kind of caught your eye when you were scrolling through earlier today?
Well, obviously, I've been watching just to see what happens with Rodgers, right? Because he didn't regress at all. So the guy's sitting here with 94 throw power, all mid-level accuracies, and he's going to go to a guy like VPD, and the guy's going to be unstoppable with him. So that's a big one right there. And then Chandler Jones at outside linebacker, and Gallup at 26 years old to be free agent right now without getting a trade, without getting anything back. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, Heath has put Gallup and Amari all over there. Nobody's really been biting.
Yeah, no one wants to trade this cycle. I don't know.
I'm wondering though if people just want to draft their own players, or if the 26 scares people. I don't know, because Gallup is really good.
Before you got on, Van said it, and I think it's so true this cycle, is that everyone is so enamored with developing players this cycle.
Yeah.
And it's especially fun, right?
League, especially our league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun, but it's affecting the trade market.
Gallup's 26 years old. Gallup's 26 years old, 86 overall.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like he has anything that's not like his attributes are so high. 91 speed, 91 excel, 91 deep route. Like, he's a beast.
Oh man.
And he's gonna go to somebody, and they're gonna, he'll plug him right in as a wide receiver number 1. And I bet you a bunch of people, when he popped up on the trade block, were like, "Oh, that'd be great," but they probably thought he'd be offered. You have to offer too much. So, and look, I mean, he pops right into free agency here. The wide receiver class is really deep.
James Washington. 26 years old, 92 speed, 89 acceleration, 89 catching.
Yeah. I mean, he's like the 15th receiver on this list, which is just insane. So, Ace, what about you? Without giving away anything else about your strategy, is there anybody else you're kind of looking at here? You got your eyes on?
I'm personally not looking at them. I'd love to have them, but I'm not going to try to get in this bidding war here. But the story that goes with it, Orlando Brown, Aries couldn't get him to sign with the Texans. He had to use his tag on Watson, and so Orlando Brown hits free agency, and this is one of the best tackles in the league just sitting here. And so you've got Jack with 141 points on him right now. You got Grizz trying to get him with 122, and BBD just hanging out back there at 101. But these guys are after one of the best tackles in the league, and he's just sitting in free agency. You don't have to give up anything for him except commit a ton of money. He's 26 years old. It's just amazing that he's here. This is, I think BBD said it earlier, this is one of the best free agent classes that we've ever seen.
Agree. Orlando Brown is 6'8", 345 pounds. Like, that is a large dude. And Jack, I think Aries thought he would be able to go into free agency and sign him back.
Yeah.
But if you want that, you're going to be offering him a lot of money, because
the only consolation for Aries is that he's going to get a dev upgrade.
100%. Sure. He'll get the comp pick there. So for me, I think Von Miller is an interesting one, because he was part of the reason I went and traded for Gilmore, because I saw Von Miller at 33 X Factor dev, and nothing has dropped really. He's still 93 power moves, 90 finesse. His speed, everything is way up there at 33. So I was like, well, if I can get 2 or 3 years out of Gilmore before I have to worry about doing anything else, I was like, I'm going to do it. So looking at Von Miller's attributes, I was really surprised, because I think if I'm Higgy, I would at least, I don't know if he tagged him once and couldn't tag him again.
What'd you pay for Gilmore?
I gave the 27th pick and a future second and a future third.
Well, that's a good haul for him.
Yeah, 98 overall, freaking 99 man coverage, 98 zone coverage. Like, I mean,
see, I like that. I like that about that team building philosophy. I like the mixture of, a cheaper, not that he was cheap, but a cheaper veteran mixed with development players. I know, I like that. I try to do that as best as I can. I have failed at it. But I like VPD style where he has that mix.
Yeah.
This is where some of these trades, these guys, they don't make trades unless they win the deal. But then that's why you see guys like Von Miller in free agency, because
100%.
they couldn't make a deal. Like, you're telling me right now that you wouldn't have rather have had a second round pick, a current second,
That's
than let him walk.
That's a great point. I think ego is half the
especially in a season where at the trade deadline you're 1-7.
Yeah.
Like, I would have shipped Von Miller out for a 3rd round pick if that's all I was getting. Like, see you later, dude. That's
one of the first things that everyone needs to do when they're looking at their cap is go through and look at what the contract years are for all of your players.
Yep.
And if you're not going to re-sign that guy, he needs to be on the trade block.
Yep.
Well, I put Robert on the block, and I just wanted like a something. I would see if I was looking for a quarterback, I would much rather save the hassle and throw a late round pick at me.
Right.
Well, yeah. I think that's gonna, and I'm surprised nobody did offer anything. Just because then you don't have to go bid with people in free agency.
Right. And then he's yours for nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get a chance to reset. You get first shot at him again, and Ace hit the nail on the head there. That is 100% true. It's people want to win every trade, or they feel like they're going to get made fun of in main chat. If you make a trade and you feel good about it, who cares what Regan comments in main chat about your trade?
Right.
Who cares?
Regan is rash in main chat.
Pin that. Put that in chat and pin it right there. Regan is a rash.
He just freaking sits there and makes you itchy and spreads everywhere.
Oh, God.
So, Rob, what about Rob's trade? I think he really turned around and got something back for that. I was quite proud of the young man.
Which one? The 201?
The 201, yeah.
Oh, I hate the 201.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, my God. I was so mad at him. I yelled at him in DM.
Well, it doesn't. Okay, let's get I don't know what direction he's going for. That's
me neither.
He's a zigzag pattern at best. But the thing is he did get return from his investment. What did he trade? His first to move up or to move down 7 spots or something?
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Like that he did to get to Tua and then move on from him. He's won that full cycle. Like, he stole Tua from Boone and then flipped him for value.
That's all. The only reason I said it was okay, I approved the trade, to be honest, was because he got Tua for nothing in the first place, other than moving back 5 spots. But he basically, he traded for the 30th overall pick in next year's draft. He traded a 24-year-old starting quarterback, which I don't know. I think you could have gotten more. I don't know. I just don't like, because it was the Titans pick. Because the Titans pick is, he has
that's fair.
He has 6 free wins.
Flip the perspective though, and do you like that move for Drew? Is Tua going to work for Drew?
I like the pick. I like it for Drew because Drew is not going to be a quarterback that good at 28 to 32, where he's going to be drafting. I don't think. I think he would have to give up more to move up from his first round spot than a 4th and a 5th. So I think that's as good of you kind of have to, when you're a guy who never gets to draft up high, you have to find a way to get your quarterback, and I think that's as good as he was going to get there. Because it'd be way easy to be like, oh yeah, I'll just sit there at 27 and draft whatever quarterback falls to me, and then you look and they're all projected 4th round and stuff, and it's not good. But I don't know.
We'll see how he does. This will be like the 4th quarterback, 4th starting quarterback for the Titans.
But it would be interesting to know the lefty.
I can't play with the lefty. I don't know. Like, that's impossible.
Yeah, the lefty's going to fit his tight end crosser really well.
That's very true. He did before he made the trade. He did run. He said he was practicing with the lefty quarterback. So who knows if it'll work for him? But it does. It puts everything backwards. I don't know. But let's go ahead. We got a little off topic, but no big deal. I always like talking about Rob trades for sure. We'll move on. So this is kind of a loaded question. Ace, I know you kind of joined last minute, so I don't know what your answer is going to be here. But what team as of right now is in the best spot to have success all cycle long? However many we go, let's say we're going to get 9 to 10 seasons in. What team? Van, we'll start with you because you had some time to prepare. What team do you think is in the best spot for this to happen? I mean, it's a very difficult question to answer for sure, but from what you can see.
Well, yeah, this is tough, and I'm probably wrong here, but I really kind of like some of the moves Brackett made, acquiring some picks. I didn't like what he did with Regan, so that kind of cancels it out. But I don't know why I'm saying that, but he's got good young linebacker, wide receiver, running back, and QB.
I was going to say the roster is absolutely loaded. I mean,
right, and use those key positions. Like Queen is a beast, and running back, quarterback, wide receiver. If he just keeps those pieces and builds around those, the guy's got a great future if he could learn how to play.
If he could learn how to play. I agree. Ace, do you have a team in mind, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's Jack easily. Jack is already doing Jack things. You see, you go to the trade block right now, you see Dwayne Haskins, you see Troy Apke, and these are the few, he's got the few older guys on his team on the block. And if you go to DL Daddy Leagues and sort his team by age, he's got 5 players that are older than 27 total on his entire roster.
Ooh.
So, it's that mass movement to youth here, and he's already got it in motion and developing guys. So, I think he's scary as it is. I think he's got more of a head start than he did last year. And I think he's just going to be a monster.
I do think one thing I did notice, because the big thing for Jack is getting his corners, and they fly up to 99 man coverage before you know it. And looking at his roster right now, even his corner he drafted last cycle, the 22-year-old 6'3" guy, is only at 73 man coverage. So it's definitely a little bit tougher to kind of, get those guys where you want to be. Because even like Josiah Scott, who he traded for, 74 zone, 67 man, like these guys are not deving like they normally do without these so many scenarios and getting the dev upgrades.
You're right. There was definitely an adjustment to the formula for cornerbacks, because I used that dev upgrade on my second quarterback long.
Yep.
And man, that's the one player, like, I think I'm in a really good position for my division, my team. I think I'm in a better position than the other 3 teams in my division, because I've focused on getting rid of older guys, getting rid of expensive guys, and moving all to youth, and with a very specific 10-year plan. And meanwhile, guys like Regan are grabbing Cam Hayward and J.J. Watt and all this, and just kind of putting back their retool a couple seasons. But I have noticed that cornerback is not the same. Jack's not going to have the same factory that he did last time with just cranking up these quarterbacks.
And I do think it's more difficult to trade into the top 5 to 10. I don't think we're going to see many users give those picks up anymore.
Because our draft classes aren't crap anymore.
You're drafting legit game changers. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because it's going to be a lot of development you're going to have to do as one of the better users, not drafting in the top 10. But like we've talked about, you get the XP from playoffs and different things like that. But it'll be interesting without these scenarios. That's 2 good options there. One good user and one struggling user, that's for sure. For me, it's gonna be not really any team but the Dolphins. The way Boone is set up is not good.
He has demolished that roster.
I just don't.
I feel that I've heard that before.
I just don't understand. I'll say the Dolphins and the Texans, or they were grouped together.
Oh, poor Aries. That roster.
Oof. It's I don't know.
That's why you do all your tweets, boys.
Yep. I do like where Drew's roster's headed, though. I think his, the Titans are in a really good spot. it'll really, like we just talked about, it'll come down to what he does with Tua. You know, he's got a young running back in Evans. He's got his receivers that are 24, 25. I think if he can add bits and pieces here and there and develop them up a little bit, he's in a really good spot where he could be really good for the remainder of the cycle. So I got the Titans as my team.
Has he moved Henry yet?
Yeah,
Yes.
for the second to the Bears in your division.
Are you in this league, Van?
I tend to not to pay attention.
Yeah. You did take the weekend off, right?
Well,
But
I did. I wasn't here.
yeah, Derrick Henry is now in a Bears uniform.
Yes.
Well,
So
who approved that?
he'll be breaking tackles from all your guys. That's
No.
a guy you can literally just hold the right joystick forward, and he's at least falling forward for 5 yards. It's not very fun.
The falling forward animations are great. This cycle.
Dude, and when you're 245 pounds, there's no other animation. Like you're falling forward. There's no backwards. So go at the knees. Don't do what what's his name did in real life. Josh Norman. Yeah.
Poor fellow. His life is ruined.
All right, let's move on here to number 5. So sticking with we kind of talked quarterbacks a little bit, but does quarterback matter? You know, we've seen graphics posted of throw accuracy thresholds. We've seen people win with shitty quarterbacks. We've seen people win with really good quarterbacks. Ace, we'll start with you here. Quarterback, do you feel like you need a big 95 overall quarterback, or can you get by with the 63 overall? Whatever. You take it from here. What do you got?
If you're willing to adjust your game style, then it doesn't initially matter. But if you want to stick to, I'm going to use someone like you or Higgy, who are just gunslingers, right? You want to throw deep. You have to have a certain type of quarterback because you're going to hit that distance threshold. You know, you're not going to get the accuracy on the passes that you guys want to throw. So I believe that it matters. Yes. But there's a caveat there. It depends on the type of offense that you want to run at the time, you know, and the build that your quarterback is at the time.
Van, what about you?
Ace nailed it, but I'll add a couple of kind of points to what he said. Wings once said, like, if you have a bad quarterback, you just have to know what throws you can make.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to really skinny down your playbook or your routes. And I thought, that's how those guys do it. Because Jackson for the Vikings, I mean, he's dropping dimes in between these little holes in the zone. And I'm thinking, how is he doing that? Well, the users learned what throws he can make and what throws he can't and stays away from the ones he can't. So that's a real big thing.
You have to be really careful using the joystick to point, to lead receivers and things, and it's making sure your feet are completely set before, ripping throws. And
so important. That point right there.
Like you said, you have to really focus in when you have a bad quarterback, and you have to kind of accept the fact that you're going to sail, like your quarterback's going to miss throws. Like you're going to have ones that you throw in the dirt. You're going to have ones that sail over the guy's head and are picked off. Because I think all a low overall really does is just increases the chance of those throws happening, So when people say quarterbacks don't matter because everyone makes bad throws, like we saw Josh Allen miss a big throw last night for an interception that almost cost Brian the Super Bowl. And his ratings are higher, but you still get those from the good quarterbacks. But
I hate the fact, though, that you can win with a low overrated quarterback because I don't like that.
When it screws up the already screwed up cap situation, because then people don't have to pay their franchise quarterbacks, and that's what I don't like. I wish everybody had to pay a quarterback, or they would really struggle, because in real life, if you're starting Case Keenum and if you're starting Aaron Rodgers, the team with Aaron Rodgers is going to win a lot more football games, so I don't know. That's something that would you guys have an answer? Like what do you think Madden can do? Because they've already proven they can.
I think you should be able to miss more throws more consistently, period.
And they don't have to be just completely sail. Like they don't have to.
Yeah. Like I want to see different throws where they're just 3 yards off opposed to just hitting the hot dog guy in the back.
Hey, what about you?
Yeah, I don't have any faith that EA can fix that at all. I mean, they can't even fix the simple things. How are they going to make something like that work? So,
Well,
I'm sure that as a group we could come up with plenty of ideas.
Yeah.
I think if they made the ability of the quarterback, the gap much wider, like a Case Keenum was absolute just
that's what
9 out of 10 passes, his wide receiver is reaching instead of getting hit in the numbers,
and like you weren't able to do possession catch because the ball's nowhere near you or something like that. Yeah.
I'd also like to see a playbook knowledge kind of thing brought. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but it would be nice to see some sort of, okay, this guy's been in this system for 3 years. He's going to be a little more accurate than a guy who you just signed.
It all comes down to being more creative with the entire franchise idea. That's a great idea, Van. Case Keenum's playbook is probably 50 plays, whereas Aaron Rodgers is 500.
Yep, exactly.
It'd be nice to see that. So the guy you just signed in free agency isn't going to come and win 16 games.
Yeah, his awareness or whatever should be lower. Yeah, and it should. Yeah, I don't know. When they shifted to having the 3 different accuracies, deep, short, middle, and short, and from just one QB accuracy, I feel like it didn't do anything though. Like they once again give us these ratings and then they don't.
No, they don't mean anything.
That's what I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't know.
I also think that if you go back and look at the descriptions of those ratings, they're so dumb because like short, most guys drop back 7 to 10 yards, but the short accuracy is like 5 yards or 10 yards. So he's not even getting it to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then the medium is 5 to 10 yards beyond that. Well, that's where VBD passes, but most people try to pass a little bit past that.
That's true though. How often are XCFL users really throwing in the short or medium accuracy zones? Because you're like you said, you drop back 5 to 7 yards, then you're throwing a 10 to 12, a 15-yard pass. Right there, you're already
You're in the deep. Yeah. You're in the deep area.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, I don't think they matter.
I think maybe we talked ourselves out of it.
I think the biggest factor that makes them matter will be the cap hit. I think I'd rather have a QB on a rookie deal or a shitty one on a rookie deal that's a lower overall than a 90 whatever overall quarterback. I think because I keep flexibility,
and that's why I did what I did. Right?
Yep.
Listen, you want to beat me? Figure out how to stop my run game and make me pass.
Yeah,
you'll beat me.
H, tell us about how it was for you when you started with that guy, because you have direct experience.
What was his overall? 63?
63 overall, and some of his accuracies were terrible. So yes, I went kind of through an evolution throughout the year in the play calls because throughout the year I got 13 chips, and so he consistently got better, and I was able to open up my playbook to more and more stuff. I had to really shrink it down in my head, and I was able to find some success that way in saying, okay, I know what this guy can do and I know what he can't do. So, it just changed what I was looking at, and it worked out. So maybe QB doesn't matter if I was able to do that.
Yeah. So our answer here is we do not know. Quarterback matters or not.
Yeah, it's a wash.
And neither does EA.
Either does EA. That's 100% true. All right, we got one question left here. We just had Brian win a Super Bowl, his second Super Bowl of his XCFL career, to go along with his 6 or 7 losses in the Super Bowl that he has. Which user or users do you think will win their first XCFL Super Bowl titles this cycle? Ace, let's start with you because we started with Van last time.
I hate to say it, but I think it is going to be Drew. Like you said, his team is set up. He's proven that he could play if he can, take his Adderall at the right time in the playoffs. He may be able to just, get that dosage right to where he'll win a conference game and get into the Super Bowl. But he's a good player. You can't argue that. He's proven that he's good, and he's good enough. If he doesn't make the playoffs, that'll be more of a surprise.
Yeah.
If he ever misses the playoffs.
That's what I was going to say. He'll have a lot of opportunity because he's making the playoffs every season. There's zero doubt in that.
Yeah. So,
Van, what about you?
That would be my pick.
Well, I love that Drew pick. I agree with what you said there. If he has an Adderall sandwich before the playoffs, he's fine. But I'm thinking, I was just looking at my notes. They're a little stale because I had Diesel written in. So,
Oh God.
I don't think that's coming true anytime soon.
And it's not going to be Jared either. That's for sure.
No.
No, it's not. So, I mean, I can't beat that Drew pick. And my
All right,
Diesel.
so let me ask you this then. I'll throw some names out there. You tell me if they have a shot to
All
win
right.
one.
All right. Okay.
All right, let's VBD.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You think he'll win the cycle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
Okay. What about Pride?
Yes. Yes.
I think he can. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I will say this, Pride, and I know he'll listen to this eventually, but he needs, through the regular season, his game style is fine. He's going to win, 10 to 12 games most seasons.
Yeah.
But he needs to find some way to mix it up and do something different in the playoffs, because once you get into the playoffs, everyone knows what you're doing, and you have to surprise somebody and be able to work it out. So if he can do that, then he'll win.
I will say this. I don't think Kyler suits him at all.
He's not using them.
He
He doesn't take off with them. And if he could figure out how to do that, he'll have some extra success.
Pride thinks that's kind of cheesy, though, too.
Does he have read options and stuff in his book? I haven't watched much of him outside of really Kenyon Drake running. Because
he's going to run out of I form more than anyone else, right?
Right. Yeah. So there you go, right there. That's not a Kyler offense.
Yeah, he's got to go get value for Kyler.
Right. So I would be knocking on some doors there, and I would just get myself a straight back 5 step.
I'd be in Rob's DMs.
Oh yeah,
that's where I would be. But I don't think Rob,
call him up.
I don't think Rob will use Kyler either, though.
No, he won't. But Rob would try for a season and then move him.
That's true. All right, let's go. We got 2 more. J-Mo.
No,
with a laugh.
No.
I mean, I had a lot of faith in him after last cycle, but he's just laid an egg here.
Yep.
He just lost. What's he doing at quarterback?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers?
He might.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that'd be a nice little move for the Bucs to go from Brady to Rodgers.
That's like helping out my NFC counterparts.
Yeah, that's
honestly, I think he's really upset that he didn't take Blake Wilcox.
I think so too. I think Wilcox, especially because the 90 throw power that could turn into 93 at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting on any of the throw power hopes, aren't you?
Throw power is not exactly. You got really lucky. You got 2 with Love.
2. I got 2 with Herbert right away. Yeah.
See, I thought there was going to be like candy.
Yeah, no.
I'm still at 92 with Love.
Well, you got 1 with Love, and then one through the mentor program.
Yeah,
it's even worse than that. I remember I drafted 2 other rookies.
Oh God, they got them.
So I've still got all 3 rookies, and I've been focused training quarterback the entire season. So I probably have gone through 20 plus chips, and not one of them has resulted in a throw power.
Well, call Rob. He's one of those quarterbacks.
Jeez.
Nah, they're bums. They are not good.
All you needed was one of them to hit. So it's going to be interesting. We got the draft tomorrow, boys. We're right in the middle of the offseason. Me and Grizz were talking earlier. We're done with our 6-pack, but we'll just go here. We got the offseason is just such an awesome time because everybody is so except for Busy. Everyone is so excited and positive, and at least has a little glimmer of hope. Like they're like, they're kind of seeing where their team could go, or and it's just there's no better time other than maybe week 1 is fun too when everyone gets to try.
Oh, this is the best part of the year for sure.
Yeah,
everyone has hope. There's draft classes. Everyone's big. The minute you miss on your first rounder, that's when hope starts to die.
When you get locked out of your pick and you're scrambling,
then the league crashes.
Or you're stuck with some woman trying to sell her a cell phone, and you're trying to call your mom and she won't pick up, so you call Regan instead, and that's
a league killer. That's a league killer.
Why Boone could have hit up any of the other 30 of us, not counting him and Regan, and we would have had a better shot to make it work than Regan. He had Regan and his mom working on it. And that's
how when you're in an emergency are you going to call Regan?
I would delete
that's a questionable emergency contact.
I would call Regan and be like, "Hey, can you post in the Discord and have Nick call me?" Or can you have someone else?
I wouldn't let Regan cut my fucking grass.
Oh gosh.
You don't have grass.
I thought it was all snow and dirt up there in Canada.
Hey, I'm in the middle of my igloo right now.
Okay.
Riding his moose.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Vodka and maple syrup, eh?
Well, Ace, thanks for stepping in for our Super Bowl champion member. We're still not sure what happened with Brian. He's still been off Discord this entire time. So,
I mean, I could take a good guess. He definitely went out on a limb there with his significant other, stretching his night out, and I'm sure that she said, "Yeah, you're not going anywhere or doing anything. You put your phone down and you're mine."
You're out there. Yep, you are 100% right on that one. Oh boy. Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's draft. Van, where you got your first round pick?
Well, I have it narrowed down to about 35.
Oh, okay. Ace, you do not have one, right? You traded yours for.
I don't have a first, but I took a special kind of take on scouting this year, and so I went and got a bunch of 3rd and 4th rounders from Riot, and I feel like I'm in good shape to make some moves here.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
I'm going to get a comp upgrade with my 4th, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm hoping Keenan Allen gives me one too. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, Ace, bump that up there, buddy.
I don't know. I'm hoping that everyone's afraid of paying him because
it was a hefty chunk of change.
He wants close to $80 million over 4 years.
Yeah, I would have. That was exactly what he was asking for. Actually, it went up. He has 75 was what it was. But I would have loved to keep him, but I used my franchise tag on him last year. And I tried to get him to accept a 2-year deal, and he just was not having it. So,
no, he doesn't look like the kind of man who accepts 2-year deals.
Dude, he's a beast with the route running. So
you were actually getting him open even with your.
I really like using him. I screwed up. My plan was I was supposed to get Marquise Goodwin to superstar, and instead I just was throwing to Hess. So Hess went to superstar, which is good. But now I need to figure out wide receiver too. So
why is Ace not bidding on Mike Williams as a backup too? Because he's 6'4".
Yeah, I let go of him too.
Because I'm going to get Keenan.
Yeah, I know. Mike Williams is a beast.
When he wanted a 4-year deal too, and I just was at 27 years old, star dev, I just couldn't do it. So, but I might take a stab at. But he's a beast. I mean, dude, 93 spec catch. At 6'4", you get some crazy.
6'4", 92 speed, 92 acceleration.
Ask me how
I need someone to come tell me how to get some of my guys to jump for these 50-50 balls. I can't get my guys to go after them.
Well, so the only problem is when you do click the Y catch, it sometimes triggers the DB to do the super catch, and that's when it gets really frustrating. So I'm right there with you. I don't know. It has to make some cool ones, but
I just dropped 150 points on Ryan Switzer. Whoa, baby.
Well,
I think we can go ahead and sound off on this episode.
Once the Ryan Switzer name drops, yeah.
But
all right, boys, great show.
Thank you guys for listening, and let's kick this off season off right.
Cheers, boys. Good talking.
Aloha.